Finally, I'd like to share with you some other ways that student committees called classroom clippers can use the newspapers to enliven and enrich your classroom. Organize your students into rotating committees to scan News Journal each week for items of note such as TV and event patrol, headliners, pick pickers, weather wizards, keepers of the Hall of Fame and Shame, and subject searchers. Let's take a closer look at some of these now. Here's a typical bulletin board that might be put together by the keepers of the Hall of Fame and Hall of Shame. On the Fame side, they have found these newspaper articles. Tour de France, Lance Armstrong makes it 5 straight. Factions agree to take small steps toward peace. Resilient residents find ways to improvise. And Vince gladly balances time for his camp kids. On the shame side, we have heavy rains, shop complex threaten the Taj Mahal. And over here, state budget paints arts into a corner. And occasionally on our ideas page, we even have a report card that the editors of the News Journal put together to grade different community actions. And that would be a great thing to have on the Hall of Shame side. The task for the headline committee is to go through the newspaper and find the most unique use of words in headlines. Here's a typical bulletin board that they might put together. Neighbors sound off at airport noise. Here, of course, the play on words is noise, sound off. Fans oscillate to fanfare. We have 3 of them here, 4 of them really, fans, oscillate, and fan, all having to do with fans. This one, magic eye possibilities. Is it magic eye possibilities or magic eye possibilities? And here's one, bullet train route, sidetracked. Sidetracked, bullet train, the route. Lots of fun. Think of the fun that the kids would have in your class if these were changed every week. The job for the committee entitled Pick Pickers is to go through the News Journal and find the most amazing pictures they can find for the bulletin board. Here's a typical bulletin board that could have been put together by that type of group. This one says a little one-on-one with Dad, and of course the contrast between the tall man and the short little boy is cute. This one, a walk between the raindrops, is kind of visually interesting. And here we have Sammy Sosa going back for one of his catches. This bulletin board would be a wonderful thing to use as a story starter, too. The role of the Weather Wizard Committee is to cut out the weather page from the newspaper each day and to point out interesting facts. You can find highs and lows from cities around the world. You can find the phases of the moon. And there's even a weather question that perhaps your class might want to ask for the weatherman. The last committee for your students might be the subject searchers. You might have language arts, social studies, math, or science. This is a typical bulletin board that might be put together by the science subject searchers. We have monkeypox leaps from pets. Here's one on turtle patrol, going underground with other land tortoises, oceans at risk, study warns, back from the brink, about the roseate spoonbills, Florida Straits, rich in marine diversity, and upwelling cold water causing fish kills. All of these were taken from one week's newspaper. And I'm sure if you put those committees to work in your classroom, you'll find lots of information for you to use in your curriculum content areas.